Welcome to My Woodworking Journey, Part 2. Recap from Part 1. I had just finished my apprenticeship and was looking to move on. The firm had got in a lot of new machines, like automatic dovetail machines, 12-foot sliding table saws, and wide belt sanders. The cabinet shop had changed too. The machine shop used to machine all the components for the furniture that had to be made the next day, and each cabinet maker got to make each piece of furniture from start to finish. Now it has changed. One guy would make the drawer boxes, another would make tops. The firm was becoming too much of a semi-mass production shop. I was 19 years old and just finished my apprenticeship. At last I was qualified in both wood machining and cabinet making. Along the way, I was the apprentice of the year in my third year of trade school. So, I quit. I didn't have another job to go to, as I had itchy feet to travel. I went to Canada and the USA. I bought a car in Texas where I had friends and drove it up to Colorado to go skiing, and then over to California. Overall, I was away for 6 months. By the time I got home, I was almost out of money. I got the local paper and there were plenty of jobs to choose from. The next day, I had a wood machining job with a firm that made solid hardwood furniture for hospitals. The timber was Victorian ash, a great timber to work with. After about 6 months there, we were bought out by a larger furniture company. We moved up to the main factory, which was a mass production setup. I lasted 1 week. Again, I was out of a job, got the local paper, and saw a cabinet making position for a small firm. That'll do, if I get it. So, I got a job interview the next day. I rocked up to the interview. I got the job. It paid a lot more money than the last one. The firm was a small building company that had a compact cabinet shop that specialized in renovating pubs. The cabinet shop got to build the bars and the bottle shop fit-outs. There were just 3 of us there, and we all got on well. Sometimes we had to renovate a bar top while the pub was still operating. Nothing like being told how to do your job by 3 drunks standing at the bar. But what pissed me off the most is that sometimes they were right. Great job and great people, but there was something big on the horizon. We're building a 60-foot yacht. By this time, it was around 1980. My oldest brother, Bill, decided he was going to build a yacht, and my other brother, Peter, joined him. It was a steel hull, a ketch rig. It was big, about 60 foot long with a 17-foot beam. It was more of a motor sailor, a big cruising yacht with a Detroit 671 diesel motor and a 60-foot main mast. It took them about 18 months to finish the hull, and then it was ready for fit-out. That's when they asked me to join the project. We launched the hull with just the engine connected and a basic fit-out. She floated very high in the water since we had no ballast in the keel yet. We had arranged for a yacht berth in the Maribyrnong River near the port of Melbourne, which is on the Yarra River. The Maribyrnong runs into the Yarra and then out into Port Phillip Bay. The part of the Maribyrnong that we were berthed in was mainly for scallop fishing boats that went out into Port Phillip Bay every day. At each end of the scallop boats, there were a few cruising yacht berths. This was by no means a fancy marina. It was for working scallop boats and had a processing plant for the scallops right on the wharf. Some days, it was a bit on the nose when the wind blew the wrong way. From there we started a huge fit-out. I worked on the joinery. Bill was a mechanic and welder, and Peter was the plumber and electrician. So between us, we just about had every base covered. It was a huge fit-out, so much work to do, so little money. How it worked out was that 2 of us would work to earn money, and 1 of us would work on the yacht full-time. After a while, we would swap, so each of us had a chance to work full-time on the yacht, and we would all work on it at the weekends. Most of the exterior hatches and woodwork are made from solid teak. Timber was a lot cheaper then. We fitted out most of the interior walls with western red cedar and Meranti. Of course, being the 80s, the color scheme for the kitchen was burnt orange and mustard yellow. Not very fashionable now. On the other side of the river, there were some poor cruising yachts, and on the river bank was a small boat yard.
Everybody knew everyone, and although poor, it was a tight-knit community. Then one day, a new yacht turned up in the boatyard. It was an admiral's launch. I heard it was off the old battleship Australia, built in 1911. It was long and skinny, 50 feet long with an approximately 10-foot beam. It belonged to a rich guy's son, and we all got jobs on the refit. I fitted it out in Honduras mahogany, which is a great timer to work with a mild mid-red color. Working on this yacht gave everyone enough money to finish their own fit-outs. We had the yacht for about 10 years and went cruising down to Tasmania and the islands of Bass Strait and up to the east coast of Queensland. We found out that cruising cost a heap of money which we did not have. We then sold the yacht and all got enough money to buy a house each. This was a great start to my new life without the yacht. We sold the yacht in Queensland and went our own way. I went back to Melbourne as I wanted to buy an old house and renovate it. I found one which I could afford, a real dump. For the next couple of years, I was plastering, making new wardrobes in the bedrooms, and then the kitchen cabinets were next. I made the cabinets out of white melamine and fitted raised panel Tassie oak doors. My mate had a cabinet shop where he made his own timber doors, so he let me make my own doors there, which really helped. The renovation of the house took a couple of years and a heap of work. That was in 1992. Over the next few years, I renovated 2 more houses with the same result. A lot of work and not much profit. During all this, I started working for my mate with the kitchen cabinet shop. I was making all the raised panel doors for him. It took me about 4 days to make a set of kitchen doors, as he only had the basic shapers and sanders. The best timber to make doors with was Tassie oak.
Thanks for listening to My Woodworking Journey. Keep an eye out for the next installment of my story. Please subscribe and see you soon.